So a few years ago, my daughter Meg gave me for Christmas a jar. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a tie at least, or socks. It was a jar. Now, let me tell you the rest of the story because I love this jar. You have to realize, first of all, that I was in a very depressed, emotional season of my life. I'd just come out of a tornado, making it through a tornado, which was a tornado of a divorce. I had lost my job. I had no money. Little money. And I was living in this little tiny, upstairs, dark apartment. And it was in that very bleak season that my daughter made me this, she wrote on the side, basically, of this big jar, the word adventure. And she gave it to me. And you have to realize, she knows at my heart, I'm an adventurer. She and I used to do things all the time together. We'd sometimes just last minute go on a camping trip to Wisconsin, and so she's been with me. We have a similar heart when it comes to adventure. And so I took that jar and I put it on the tiny nightstand next to my bed. And it became my money jar. And so anytime I had a little extra money, which was more than you would think, because I almost daily went to the value menu of wherever I was going, because I didn't cook a lot. I didn't know how to cook, honestly, very much. And I always kept the change and then put it into my investment for my future adventures. Well, after about 2 years, the thing filled up. And I took half of it, because it was so heavy, which was like the last 2 years of my life. I took this bag and took it to the bank, and she, ran it through her machine, and she comes back out, and it was, she puts the bag down, and it was full of junk. It was there was a flashlight in it, and a pen, and an old raffle ticket, and some screws. I mean, there's all this junk, and I'm like, okay. And she said, you about broke my machine. And I was saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize all that stuff was in there. And she said, that's okay. And she said, here's your money. And so she had me put my hand out, and I put the change. She dumped change in my hand, and I'm like, I sighed, and then I realized that was like leftovers, from, it wasn't exactly a dollar amount. So then she began putting the rest of the cash in my hand. She puts a 10, and then a $50 bill, and then a 1, a 2, and 3 $100 bills. And I get this huge grin on my face, and it is at that moment it hits me. The benefit that can happen from small incremental steps towards your dream. The benefit of what the outcome can be for your dream. And I began thinking to and asking my family, hey, anyone want to come on an adventure with me? To which Meg was like, sure, if you're going to go on a cruise, I'm coming with you, or whatever it was going to be. So I say all of that because there are several things on the journey to a dream that is important. One is a a big enough why in your mind that inspires you, and two, the small incremental steps it takes to accomplish a dream. Change, a little change every day can turn into big outcomes.